All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're diving deep into something really fascinating. We're talking about addiction. And guess what? It's not just about chasing pleasure, like most people think. It's actually way more about avoiding pain. And get this. Our brains have this sneaky way of tricking us into needing more and more just to feel anything at all. And that's where Dr. Anna Lembke comes in. Now, she's a psychiatrist at Stanford, runs the dual diagnosis addiction clinic there, and in her book, Dopamine Nation, she lays out some mind-blowing insights from years of working with patients.
Yeah, what's really cool about Dr. Lemke's work is that she combines, real-world experience with this deep understanding of how the brain works. So she's seeing these patterns play out in people's lives every day, but then she can actually explain the why behind them, like the neuroscience, in a way that just makes so much sense.
Okay, so let's talk about dopamine. I mean, we all know it's the feel-good chemical, right? But Dr. Lemke says that too much of it can actually backfire. How does that even work?
Well, it all boils down to how our brains adapt. Think about it like this. Imagine you're exposed to this really bright light. At first, it's super intense, but then your eyes adjust, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's the same thing with dopamine. When we're constantly bombarded with these high dopamine activities, like, drugs or social media or even junk food, our brains basically turn down the volume on their dopamine receptors.
Oh, wow. So it's like our brains get desensitized. We need a bigger and bigger hit each time to get that same feeling.
Precisely, and that's where the whole pain avoidance thing comes in. Dr. Lemke's research shows that when our baseline dopamine levels drop, we not only experience less pleasure, but we also become way more sensitive to pain, both physical and emotional. So addiction becomes less about chasing that high, and more about escaping discomfort.
Whoa, that's a really powerful way to look at it. It's not just about seeking euphoria, it's about trying to avoid feeling bad. I can see how that would make breaking an addiction incredibly difficult.